Hi all, welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a step-by-step landscape painting. You can also paint along with me. You can sketch the outline of the painting. Here I didn't sketch anything, but you can put the reference lines just to begin with. I'm wetting all the paper. You can sketch some reference lines for mountains, some grass area and water if it is there, just to make sure you will paint along the lines. I love painting in watercolor, painting landscapes with beautiful skies. Watercolors are so unpredictable, so go with the flow and experiment with all characteristics of water, and you will learn something along the way. We are almost done with wetting paper. I tilted my paper so that extra water gets off and we can wipe it off with the clean paper. For new artists and beginners, I would say start with non-expensive materials, learn about water and pigments, experiment and learn how it blends. I also started like that. Let's start with the skies. I'm using here yellow ochre. Give a pale wash of it. Use very light yellow ochre. Use very softly, like you are dropping colors, and you can leave some areas white. Cover the whole area. I'm mixing here the cerulean blue and little natural tint. Drop in color, and the paper is still wet, so it will bleed naturally as clouds. Drop wherever you feel like. It gives nice texture of those clouds. Blend in very nicely because the paper is still wet, giving all those shapes naturally. Now using little more cerulean and natural tint to make those clouds little darker. Still it is wet. I'm just dropping the color to give the shape of clouds. With watercolors, you may overwork your painting. This is simple and basic landscape you can do. When you practice doing this, you will know how much the paper should be wet and how much you charge it with the colors. All the watercolors dry little lighter side, so accordingly you put those colors. And still the paper is so wet that it's bleeding in, so to give it a more darker you put those colors more. We are almost done with this part. Now we'll let it dry this layer, and we'll come back after a while. Now that it is dry, we'll use some cerulean blue and a black tint, very light wash for mountains. I'm using very light because it is in farther backgrounds, so those are on lighter sides of the tones, just to give a reference for mountains. You can put any shape as you like. I'm just giving random shapes to the mountains. Here I use cold press paper, but for landscapes you can use a rough paper too, because we don't use much details, so you can go with rough paper. That also will give you good effect. Here for the middle foreground I'm using yellow ochre plus little yellow, just to give that a brighter look. Now we will use some green and black tint for grasslands, just a line to show it. Put some texture effects with drop in color. Mixing yellow with green and little yellow ochre. It's little darker in the foreground, so use more green mix with yellow ochre. Cover the area. Leave some white spots to give it a crispy look, bits here and there. I'm mixing green again with yellow ochre and more darker foreground. Cover the remaining area with the same. You can use more of a green also. Whatever you like. We are almost done with the foreground. Just little green. Seems the landscape is kind of coming together. It is already looking nice. I'm mixing green with little yellow ochre. and little darker. You can mix your colors. You will not get exactly the shade I am using, but you can try. Some trees behind in the background. I'm using a smaller brush. Control the color intensity in your landscape. You don't need to copy colors from reference photo. Make farther backgrounds more on cooler side. So we use more of blues and violet. It has to be a little intense and make it more dramatic, not copying the whole reference colors. With watercolor, you always start with light and finish with the dark. So always put lighter tones. Go on making it darker to look the composition overall nice. We are almost finishing with all these trees in the background. I am again giving another layer of yellow ochre and little green mix. It dried little lighter. Cover that area with yellow ochre and green. Use green with little yellow ochre for middle foreground. I'm using a thin rigger brush to just give a grassy look. Finish that line. Since the area is little wet, so it will give a texture of grass. Make some shapes random. Some light green. Use little bigger brush to cover the big area. Using more cerulean blue with green to give a darker shade. I'm just wiggling my brush and tapping to make it shape like a foliage. Use a darker tones on right just to give a shadow look. Little more lighter green around that foliage. Finish it off. Use little darker tones for another tree behind that foliage. I'm using a small brush and just wiggling. Some darker tones on the foliage. Continue with the background tree. It's little darker. Making random shapes just to give the impression of foliage. And it's already looking nice. Making those random shapes, finish it off with little darker. Put some more darker tones on the foreground foliage. Some grass texture. Use small brush and darker tones. Around those trees. You can go for meadows for landscape painting and use some salt for texture. Just assess the painting if you feel like more of doing the grass wherever it's needed. Some glaze in the foreground with light green and little yellow ochre. You can take out some, you blot out some with tissue also. Make those background trees also little darker. Draw one tree in the background. Assess the whole composition and feel to do some changes. Then you can make it. Put some plants here and there. And we are almost done. Hope you like this video and you will paint a landscape also. Hope you enjoyed the process And if you got any comment or suggestions, please put it in the comment section below. And if you would like to have more updates of my latest videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And bye for now. Take care. Thank you for watching.